we have a very special episode. Welcome to the NVIDIA Omniverse live stream today. As you can see, we have some amazing guests, and as evident in that previous clip, we're going to talk about spooky 3D workflows leveraging OpenUSD. And we have some amazing creators, not only from the NVIDIA team joining us to show off how they do things, we also have some incredible talent from the world, joining us from across the world, working with USD. That are going to show and tell their workflows. So it's going to be a really fun-filled hour. I'm also super honored to have NVIDIA Studios' John Mulliken here today. John, thank you so much for joining us.
Woohoo, John.
Hello. What's up, you guys?
This is John's first time on the live stream, so we're going to go super easy on him. As we move forward in the live stream, I want to invite everybody who's watching to post your questions, your comments, in the chat of either Twitch or YouTube, and we will try to hit as many questions as we can throughout the stream. You can direct them to whoever you like here. But let's get the party started. Since John is here, we're talking about NVIDIA Studio. So John, tell us a little bit about your role at NVIDIA and what is NVIDIA Studio?
Absolutely. So first off, thanks for having me on. It's an honor to be on the legendary community Omniverse live streams. Basically, NVIDIA Studio is our platform for creators at NVIDIA. So if you have an RTX GPU, you're kind of already a part of NVIDIA Studio, and you can start taking advantage of the benefits. Those benefits, we're going to have a little sizzle video, I think, Edmar, that we can play in a little bit. That'll kind of walk you through all of them. But kind of one of the biggest ones for creators is we work with individual software partners, like all of the 3D apps that you guys are used to working with, like Unreal, Substance, all those great ones. And we work directly to create optimizations for your GPU so that your workflow is faster and better. And then as a part of the Studio Suite, Omniverse is actually a part of it as well. So we have a bunch of suite of apps, including Omniverse, NVIDIA Canvas, which helps kind of create AI concept art quickly, and a bunch of other great tools and accelerations that they're almost too many to count. It's such a big suite, and if you have an RTX GPU, you kind of unlock all of that wonderfulness. So my role at NVIDIA is I work on the consumer marketing team for NVIDIA Studio, and I do a lot of the social media stuff. So I'm kind of here to tell you about NVIDIA Studio, but also introduce you guys to the joint seasonal art challenge that we're doing with in partnership with the Omniverse channels to inspire creators like you guys to submit your seasonal art and have it featured on our channels to help boost you guys as well. So
that's awesome. Well, let's watch this cool sizzle reel for more background on the NVIDIA Studio teamwork, and then we'll come back and we'll dive into the community challenge, which was just announced yesterday. And here we go. Awesome. If you are an NVIDIA Studio user, and let us know in the comments. Really cool to see who's using that NVIDIA Studio hardware. I have to say too, you are? That's awesome.
NVIDIA Broadcast for the win.
Yeah, Broadcast totally included in that suite of apps. There's just so much you can do.
Actually, that's a really good point. So a lot of people watching this may benefit a lot from NVIDIA Studio Broadcast. You want to talk a little about that before we get into the Studio Challenge?
Sure. So once again, if you have an RTX GPU, download NVIDIA Broadcast. It is free, and it comes with a lot of really wonderful features, like the one that Ashley just showed, where your webcam will kind of move with you. You see she's doing it right there, which is really cool. So like her webcam is, just staying still, but NVIDIA Broadcast kind of follows you. And when you're streaming and stuff, and let's say you're showing something on your right, NVIDIA Broadcast will move your webcam using AI to show you, to kind of change that position there, which is really cool. Another thing that is very popular, kind of went a little viral like a few years ago, is the noise canceling feature. So it was originally called RTX Voice, but it has this incredible noise canceling feature where we've done some videos with other influencers where like someone's actually using a vacuum like behind them and you literally can't hear it at all. So kind of the best in the line in terms of noise canceling for when you're doing your streams and stuff. And we also have like AI green screen stuff as well. So it's kind of everything you need for being a broadcaster. It's a great way to do your streams or video conferencing as well. So yeah.
My favorite is the background remover. I don't need to have a green screen. When I'm streaming, I can take my background off and just be like a floating streamer head. I love it.
Yeah, it makes it all super easy, and it's full thanks to the RTX card. So yeah, super fun stuff.
And
should we go to the challenge, Edmar?
I feel like one of the things we've been working closer and closer on are these community challenges. It's been really inspiring to see the kind of work that comes in, and generally these challenges happen every few months or so.
Yeah, usually we try to do them we like kind of posting them for 2 months. So we'll work with Edmar's team, Omniverse team, and we'll kind of do a little brainstorm of like kind of what we think would be a great kind of general topic that we can get most creators involved in. So it's like pretty broad. And then we usually like to run for about 2 months. So every 2 months, you should see a new one coming out.
And I think Tanya, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you have actually been part of every single community challenge we've had since the start, I believe.
Since February, yeah.
I think so. I think you're a veteran.
I
okay,
don't think so. No, definitely not. It's always nerve-wracking every time.
I know you're fantastic. Everyone's going to see the great work you put together for this live stream in a few minutes. So you're very humble, but you're also very talented. So can't wait for you to show that off. So John, what is this community challenge all about?
So we kicked it off just on Monday. It's a seasonal art challenge when we were kind of doing our brainstorming. We're heading into the holidays. We got spooky season is here. It's October. We got kind of Thanksgiving coming up in November, harvest kind of fall themes and whatnot. So we wanted to create this hashtag seasonal art challenge. The focus in October is going to be more of that spooky Halloween art. And then as we move into November, a little bit more of harvest and fall kind of themes, all those wonderful changing leaf colors and whatnot. So it's the seasonal art challenge. Anything that you've created in the past is eligible. Anything that you're making that's new is eligible, that kind of fits the theme in a general way. We're just getting excited about jumping into fall and the holiday season coming. And we want folks to share that on social with us. You can share it with the Omniverse teams. You can share it with the NVIDIA Studio channels. And when we go through those submissions and whatnot, we try to feature as many as we can and kind of get the word out there about your art, which is really cool. So that's kind of the general theme. October's a little spooky, and then November is a little more like kind of fall and harvest theme. So it's pretty broad, and leave it up to you guys to make the great work.
So for everyone watching, all you need to do is post something on social media and just use the hashtag seasonal art challenge. That will allow us to kind of view it. You want to tag us as well, right?
Yeah, if you could tag either at NVIDIA Studio, that's our channels. If you've seen them before, or at NVIDIA Omniverse, those are the ones to tag. And even on Instagram, we have like a bit of an add yours going on with your Instagram stories. So you can even like click on that little module and then add your story, and then we can see it super easily. So here, I can even try to share my screen and show you what
let's see. And we were talking yesterday, and I was like, oh, I'm wondering when they'll come in. You're like, what? We've got a ton of them already came in the first day.
Yeah, we got some people fired up already, which is super exciting. So I think I did that right.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Let me scroll down. Yep. Let me share this. Here we go.
So this is our little highlight that we have going on the studio channels. And so this little add yours feature is where you can kind of click on it. When you're on your phone, it's a lot easier to do than the web. You can click on that, you can see all the stories that people are posting. And then that makes it super easy for us to see it as well. But here's one that we launched with, which was really cool. Little pumpkin there, a little lightning going on. Some kind of more fall seasonal art, really cool. Some other ones in there, just very fall vibes. This awesome snail that has a pumpkin.
Gosh.
Oh, that's so cute. I want to eat it.
I loved that one. Kind of a little pumpkin spice and everything nice. Little interior low poly situation there. Super cool. Some pumpkins. I feel like you guys are getting the idea.
Don't eat that one.
Carry pumpkin.
And then, also videos are super accepted as well. So, little before and after there. So anyways, those are our tutorials. But yeah, that's on the NVIDIA Studio channels. I'm looking at them all the time and putting them up. So yeah.
Look at those
would love you guys to be
notifications.
part of it. Runs for 2 months. Yeah.
It's what an awesome way to highlight all the great creative talent in the world, and let us kind of amplify it. So invite everybody to take part. As you can see, and as you'll see in the next hour, some of this early work is already definitely more on the spooky side of things. I'm looking at you, Marco. But we will also show off some things which are a little lighter. But it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it fits a seasonal category. I can't wait to see what people do. So really excited. John, thank you so much for sharing this challenge. I look forward to all the submissions over the next 2 months.
Absolutely. Just through the hashtag, I'm on the studio YouTube channel, threw it in the chat. So throw that in there, tag us. We're super excited to see what you guys come up with. Yeah, thanks so much for having me on.
Awesome. Thanks, John.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right. So speaking of spooky and also nice to bring in family to the conversations, and specifically Nana, Ashley's Nana is part of this next scene, I believe.
Yes.
So I understand you have a very good relationship with your Nana, and you would like to show us a little bit about how she lives, or maybe another alter ego lives.
Yeah. So I did have a great relationship with my Nana. She passed away when I was 10 years old. So I have been challenging myself to create these daily compositions using Omniverse, just a way to make sure I'm working with Omniverse every single day. I'm keeping up with like the workflows that people I'm working with are working in, and just to try to see like what other tools can be developed for creative workflows specifically. Also, because if you guys know me, you know my background is in art. I got my degree in photography. I love making pretty images. I got into 3D because I like making pretty images, and 3D is a great way to do it without the camera. So I just wanted to get back into that. And I've been thinking about my Nana a lot lately. I don't know why, it just comes into my mind. And so I decided to start making my compositions with the idea of like the memories I've had from my Nana's house. So I will show one of the compositions that I started with. It's the very first one I did last week. And there we go. And oh, wait. Oh, I ruined the surprise. There we go. Surprise. You never saw it. You never saw it. You don't know what I'm talking about. So I made my Nana's like the idea of what like my Nana's living room looked like. It didn't really look like this, but like this is how the coziness, the like vintage, the old pictures, like everyone's Nana like probably has like an old TV of some sort. So I just wanted to get that feeling. So I created this. And then when I saw that the community challenge was like seasonal stuff, I decided to add another layer. So this is completely separate from my original composition layer, and I just created like a holiday edition layer so I can turn it on and off. So I can make Nana's house just Nana's house, or I can make Nana's house of when I celebrated Hanukkah at my Nana's house, which, to be honest, I don't remember ever doing, but this is like a way that I'm like creating the memory of like my Nana without actually having those memories. So it's a fun way to just explore that. I've been doing this in 4x3 to make it easier to post to Instagram, and just like social media in general. So if y'all are doing this, I'm sure the NVIDIA Studio team would appreciate maybe something like this, like a 4x3 ratio. It's much easier to post on Instagram without having to crop anything out. So that's my recommendation. And I learned that just from doing these compositions. And this is in interactive path tracing. The reason I did that and not in real time, I wish y'all could hear my poor GPUs. Like, I think Papa Chuck put it in the chat earlier, like in the winter, the best way to warm up your house is using the NVIDIA Studio. The GPUs definitely work really hard in path tracing. But I found in real time, for some reason, the glass that I'm using, and I don't know why, everything is like also really blown out. But like the glass that I'm using for the wine glass and the champagne flute, it doesn't work in real time. So I decided to use path tracing. It looks really pretty. And then I added global effects to like get this like atmospheric depth. So that has helped a lot with like adding some warmth to the candles and spreading those soft shadows. If you can see in my viewport, the shadows for the candle and like the background shadows, they're very soft. They're not hard edges. And I found like the global volume effects helps with that. So I don't have to take it into a compositing editor and edit those shadows to look softer. So I did that. And I hope this is a palate cleanser for you from the first video, because I know I'm going to have to be sleeping with my lights on tonight, thinking of that Audio to Face song. Great video, but absolutely horrifying. And I'm so sorry to do this to you all, but I've created another composition. This is Nana's nightstand. And I'm not going to save. Oh, I forgot to show in my other one what it looks like. Let me do that real quick before I horrify you all. So when I'm creating these, by the way, I'm not creating like a whole room. It's like a slice. So if you're looking to create something that's like efficient to load and like your GPU is not working too hard, you just create a little slice. I just have 3 planes. And then I like found these like borders on the asset store, because all of these are Sketchfab assets and a couple of them are like NVIDIA assets. And I just found like a border. So I like added that. That's actually like a 3D model. It's not even a part of the wall. So there you go. I do that with all my compositions.
It's great. Big time saver, of course. It's awesome.
Yeah. So you can see this is the same thing. It's just 3 planes and it's a little room. I'll come back to that, but I want to show you what it actually looks like. And this is in real time. So my GPU now has calmed down. It's not like working extra hard. And it actually looks really nice. When it renders out, some of those global volume effects, if you can see on my screen, it looks a little like foggy. I guess as it loads more, it's softer. But when I render it out, it's even better. It's a very like, you can actually see the fog and it looks like, you can see the moonlight reflecting off of the edge of the skull and on the table. And then I have like the flame for adding the warmth. And because this is called Nana's nightstand, Edmar asked me if this was Nana on the nightstand.
I did.
That's up to interpretation, whatever you want to think of my Nana.
I think that's very sentimental of you.
Yeah, and these books are actually Nerf images. They are
Cool.
3D assets, but someone on the asset store like scanned these books in, and I use them in another composition as well, and they've become my favorite books because you get so much detail and so much realism. Like the spine of the book, the like tearing of the edges, that just looks so beautiful to me. And so I've been trying to find a lot more like photogrammetry imagery, 3D assets rather than like OBJs or FBX. Like you can even see the difference. This is an actual 3D model. And you can see the contrast between this and like a scanned image. And I kind of like this look a little bit more. It seems more like photography, like, I don't know, stuff like that.
It looks great. And we have a question from Simply Channable, one of the top posters in the community. Hey, nice to see you, Jerry. What is the sample per pixel setting?
I will show you. So go to my movie capture. And because I'm using real time, there's no like sample per pixel that I need to use. I just like keep the default settings, whatever's in the render settings. But when you switch to path tracing, that's when it starts asking you that stuff. In my other ones, I do 5 images or 5 samples per pixel. And I think it took like 28 to 30 seconds to render that out. I also have multi GPU enabled. So it might be a little bit different for others, but on my PC behind me, I have a 4090 and it's pretty much the same thing, like 5 samples. It only takes like 30 seconds, 45 seconds to render out. It's really easy. And I don't do anything with these images after. I don't take them into Photoshop unless I'm like changing the image size to add them to ArtStation, because ArtStation only likes 10 megabytes for an image. But other than that, like I'm not editing these. I remember being in like photography school and like taking my images I had on my digital camera and taking them into Lightroom and Photoshop, and having to do so much compositing with them to like take out any kind of noise, or even like rendering and other renderers. I've had to do the same thing. So it's just so nice to just render it and then like I'll share it. It goes straight into the world and I can be like, okay, next composition. And then I'm going to go back into the perspective and I'll turn on the light.
That's awesome. And John had to go to a meeting, but he wanted to say goodbye to everybody. So thanks for joining, John. Great to have him. I'm sure that'll be the first of many appearances by the NVIDIA Studio team.
Yeah. So just final thoughts on it is like, when you're using assets, they don't have to be what they're for. This is a chair with a fabric over it. And I just like positioned it in a way to look like drapery. And then I have like this giant dead plant that I used as like just some filler in the background. So it's important when you're looking for assets, just like think of a creative way they could be used without like using it as intended. And you can create some really nice images.
As we can see, that's awesome. Ashley, first of all, it's really cool you're doing an image a day. And for all the inquiring minds out there who are missing your live streams, when is Learn With Me back on? Are you still working on schedule?
So first of all, my internet was so bad for some reason. So I had to like reschedule all my live streams because every time I would like get on some kind of meeting or something, within 20 minutes, my internet would just glitch out. So unfortunately, I haven't been doing them because of that. Now that my internet is a little bit more stable, I'm moving this weekend. So I like have just been extremely busy. So
We'll
I'm
be
so sorry if
patient.
you.
It's worth the wait.
Yeah, I'm only moving like, I don't know, like 20 miles southwest. But you know, moving is a whole process. So I'm so sorry if you have been looking for my live streams. I promise I will be back on very soon. And we will continue working in my custom app. Maybe we can, I know we want to do like some Reillusion stuff in my custom app. So maybe we can incorporate these like daily compositions using Reillusion. I still want to do that. That is still the goal. And I promise I will be back.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, your streams, take your time. Good luck with the move. Really happy you're able to join us today for this. Good luck packing and unpacking.
Yeah, thank you for letting me share all this. I was sometimes you make things and they just exist and you're like, all right. So it's cool to just show them off.
No, I think it's great. Super inspiring. Speaking of inspiring, I think Richard was inspired by this challenge to do a kind of a. Well, I don't know. Well, actually, you're sitting right in it, so I can't even tease it because it's right behind you.
I kind of blew the surprise there, but it was a cool background.
It's okay. I did it too.
And unfortunately, it doesn't involve my nana. It's just spooky, scary stuff.
Well, it could be many nanas and grandpas there in that little scene.
True.
So Richard, before you start, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit so everybody knows who you are? This is your second time on a live stream, but you're on the NVIDIA community team. Why don't you tell everybody what you do?
Yeah, this is only my second time. I was on last week. I'm new to the position. I'm now Omniverse community manager for the forums, specifically focusing on technical help for anybody that wants to come to the forums and ask some specific questions. A lot of my time is spent in things like Composer and Isaac Sim and some of the foundation apps, but we have a wealth of knowledge on all the apps that the kit provides. And obviously you've got Discord for just general discussion, and there's a great community there. And I know a lot of these familiar faces are helping each other out on Discord, but if you want to get something that's quite challenging technically and get it answered officially, then that's where the forums is the best place for you.
That is totally good to mention. Definitely. All our forums are kind of tied to our internal ticketing system for bugs and feature requests. So Forums is where you go for official support, and Discord for more user support. The devs will pop in our Discord too and help people out, but don't go there waiting for a dev response. Go to the forums. We got a good kind of question here regarding the challenge. I'll post that up really quick. Can we share animation for the community challenge? Yes, you can. Absolutely. So I would love to see that actually. Okay, Richard. So you've got something brewing behind you. Do you want to talk a little bit about what your workflow is? I have a video here from you, I think.
Yeah, I guess we're just going to see a quick video and a short breakdown. Just like Ashley, I try to challenge myself in Composer. It's an amazing piece of software. It's revolutionary. And this particular piece is all completely done in Composer. I never left the app one time. I'm a 3D Max guy, but in this case, I just used the free assets from Sketchfab. And one of the greatest things about Composer is that we already offer browsers for TurboSquid and Sketchfab. And there's a lot of free assets there that you can just literally drag and drop in. So everything you see here is completely done in Composer, never left the app one time, and also in real time.
All right. So now you have it set up. Here we go. We'll be right back. Watch this.
It really reminds me of Diablo 4.
Yeah, the skull is very Diablo, very Doom. It's a great asset. Again, just drag and drop from Sketchfab. It's pretty hard not to find what you're looking for on that browser, and it's very convenient. And obviously, it's a free account as well.
Yeah, well, that's great. That's great. And you just did that yesterday, right?
I did a little over the weekend. The weekend's my time to be a bit more creative. But that's when I like to just play with the software.
Well, that's awesome. And everyone can chat with Richard more anytime on the forums. But thanks for sharing that. Okay, so we have a repeat guest next. That Tanya is also, but Marco, you've been on the stream before. It's awesome for you to show your workflow. I thought of you almost immediately when we discussed this challenge, and I thought who would come up with something kind of spooky, and you never disappoint. But why don't you introduce yourself, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you're going to show today. Sure.
Hello, I'm Victor, Marco for friends and family. But professionally, I'm mostly doing characters, but I'm really into general 3D workflow and animations included. So I've started with some Cinema 4D, then I jumped to Blender, and then I played with Real Illusion a little bit, and then I discovered Omniverse, and I started using all of them in one place, which is like just great because there's some things that you're kind of used to it in one way to do it in a certain way. And with a USD composer, you can just like go to your favorite software, do whatever you need to do, and just drag it to the composer, which is just great. But normally, like most of the times, I do characters. I do pretty scary characters. I hope they're pretty scary. And what I'm going to show you today is just like it's really about the context. So you can literally take some assets that are not necessarily that crazy or that scary or that spooky, but give them some context with another model and just turn them to like some unsettling scenes and really like play around, which I think is like it's a good thing for an artist to kind of, as Ashley showed before, you can use some assets not necessarily as it was purposed or designed to. You can really play around with it and do some really cool stuff. Let me show you the my screen. Just a second. Share screen. All right,
And,
right.
I'll let you know when I
Yeah.
see it. We'll show it right away when it comes up. I don't see it yet, but here I go.
Here it is. Perfect. All right. So as I said, like I'm most I love character creator. For example, I really like character creator from Real Illusion. I play with a lot with it. So I grabbed one of the spooky characters that I've that I did with
So you created that model using Character Creator?
Yeah, that is correct. But everything else that you can see, other than the characters, are brought from the are free assets from NVIDIA Omniverse, from the USD composer, and they're I'm pretty sure that they were used in the factory the warehouse scenes, and they're quite a lot. They're appearing in the Omniverse workflow. So most of the times you can just treat them as a regular industrial assets, but then you can think about back rooms, you can think about some spooky stuff that you can really like draw your imagination through the limits, and even imagine some human factory, like the factory of humans. If you know Beeple, like he's one of my favorite artists. He also played a lot with this unsettling like the things that don't match to each other. So you kind of taking this regular bowl, but you put it on the middle of the scene that doesn't match, and then you can kind of get this unsettling vibe to the very simple sphere, or just like a human head, or imagine, for example, if you were play with the layers and the USD variants, which is great stuff for the 3D workflow. We could say like instead of all these boxes behind, we can like put all the human heads, right? Or we could put some hands or sticking out of the boxes, and then we got some simple scene that is not really unsettling or not really spooky, and within a few clicks with USD variants, we can play with the context and change just a few models, and that will bring the whole another vibe to the image. So yeah, that's pretty much how I just want to
awesome.
So you can play around context.
And so what are you working on next? What projects do you have going on?
Well, the really cool thing is that I do a lot of unsettling stuff, so I decided I need a break from this. So there is a really amazing software called NVIDIA Mineways, and it lets you to export the assets that you can build in Minecraft. So now I'm working on a whole series of tutorials where you can learn how to use Mineways, and how to bring all your creations from Minecraft to the real world with the 3D printing, or to the animation with a 3D software like USD Composer.
That is awesome. Please keep me updated. We'll definitely want to see those posted on the Omniverse Discord and the Show and Tell channel. That'd be super cool.
Yeah, I want to 3D print my Minecraft stuff.
Yeah, I think everyone does. So that's what I'm really. I felt like I really found like a missing spot, and like a place to feel, because also I believe that it's amazing spark to give for kids to start their like journey with a 3D, and like, you know, everyone got this situation with our moms or dads when they were like really pissed on us that we like spent so many times on the computer and like just playing video games. So now I really want to show like to the parents that maybe their kids that spending like some time playing Minecraft, they can actually monetize it, or even like build some really cool school projects with it, you know. So that's what I'm looking for.
That's awesome.
I think that's incredible. That's great. Thank you so much for coming on, Marco. Always cool to see you and get a little scared by your stuff. Let me see. I think we switched positions on the camera, but we're going to go with the previous plan. So Tanya, as I mentioned earlier, you are a veteran of this live stream. and a veteran of the community. It's really so cool to have you come on and take time out of your busy day, all the way from the UK to join us. I feel like every time I ping you, I'm like, hey, you got anything kind of like this? You're like, give me 1 minute, and you'll start working on something. So you worked on something very cool, and we actually used it on our forum post announcing the seasonal challenge yesterday. You want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself before you do a little show and tell?
Yes, no, thanks for having me. It's always, great, and it's like having my own little design studio and art studio here. And for me, it's a great opportunity because I'm a freelancer. I work by myself, and just kind of getting set a little challenge and time permitting, and computer and internet, being happy enough to help me. I'm always, just really keen to show you something, and you're so supportive, and getting some exposure through that is just,
well, you're very talented. You've got a really interesting background too. You want to tell everybody a little about your professional background, the kind of stuff you've done?
Yes, so my background is industrial design, and I've been working for more than 20 years in that field. I have been expanding in terms of visualization in the last few years, and I came across a few apps that I wanted to try, and also that were free because I'm a freelancer, and I kind of try to find alternatives to really expensive stuff, because working for myself, that just makes more sense. So I came across Blender, Unreal Engine, and then at the end of last year, when the Christmas challenge was on, I came across the Omniverse. And so I've been using it for renderings and for animations and stuff like that ever since. I still have only scratched the surface, sadly. Even in the last few months, it's kind of, for me, the best thing about it is that it renders in real time. It gives you beautiful light quality. It is really quick, and it works on my computer without crashing too much, because Blender rendering and animation is just a nightmare sometimes. And also I could connect Blender and Substance Painter and all my favorite apps, and create something really stunning. So yeah,
it's very cool. Yeah, the power of USD. It's really awesome to see people with your background, with lots of different apps that they know and love, not being able to not having to sacrifice the use of those apps, and instead kind of combine all those powers together. So I love seeing you work. I think we'll post a link in the chat if people want to kind of check out Tanya's work online. She's got a really nice portfolio. Really, really cool. She does something my friend also did with visualization of bottles. Some of the commercial work you've done is, has been used to kind of by companies showing off. A lot of people think when they see ads for, soda or alcohol bottles with the water glistening on, that those are real. They are not real. They're simulated, but they're so good that it totally looks real. And you're one of the people that kind of makes those things look almost, you can't really tell the difference at all.
I'm the type of person that tries. I look at a billboard and I'm like, can I tell? I don't know if I can tell.
Photorealism is amazing, and it has just changed so much in the last few years. And this year I've been doing a lot of photorealistic plants. For 3D plant assets for games and films and stuff, and it can create those amazing scenes. That's awesome. And everybody's like, "Oh, where have you
plants
been?"
Must be hard too, because I know when I'm rendering out plants, it's hard to get them to not look like they're made of rubber, because they have so much translucency and they absorb light in certain ways. That must be really difficult to do.
Yeah, the subsurface scattering of plants, it's a big thing.
Speaking of plants, what you did... go ahead, Tanya.
Yeah, sorry. I haven't used subsurface scattering on my little pumpkin scene.
Yes, that was a good segue. I was going to mention, so speaking of plants, you've got a pumpkin I think you're going to show off today.
Yes.
So feel free. Did you want to share your screen, or you don't have to?
Yes. I'm really keen on pumpkins. It's every year in October I post some pumpkins, including that hairy pumpkin that was on the studio stories earlier. So yeah, I do have a few pumpkin ideas, but when you said, oh, create something, I thought pumpkin, and then I had like a day or so. So I had to be quite nifty about what I was going to show. So it's not too bad. Let me share my screen.
You actually did a couple of. It was really nice of you to share progress as you were working on it, and every iteration got nicer and nicer. I think ending up with some cool effects. And here we go.
Cool. So,
okay, we can see Composer.
Can you see? It's
a Blender. Sorry, Blender.
So I've got. So last year I started off making a few pumpkins in Blender. We just rendered it out in some color. If my computer is happy to do that. And so I used that pumpkin as a starting point for the challenge.
We're losing Tanya's audio a little bit.
I think, Tanya, you might want to turn your camera off.
I put it into ZBrush. I sculpt this.
Oh, no, did you hear Ashley? If you turn off your camera, it'll probably give you better bandwidth for the screen sharing. We were losing some of your audio. There you go. Okay.
Yes, sorry. It's been really, really slow in the last few years, and I live in the middle of nowhere, and our internet has been horrible. But I'll just show you quickly. I've got this plane in the background which has an animated image sequence, and I was just very curious to see if I could get that somehow into Omniverse USD Composer, which was semi-successful. But I just show you my script. My scene in Blender here is quite simple, just a ground, a few plants, and the pumpkins. And all you do is say export USD on the little Omniverse tab, and save it. And I've already saved it, so it probably asks me. It asked me to. Okay, let's see if it just opens in. I'm so sorry. I think my Nucleus has just.
That's okay. That's okay. It happens.
So,
Richard, we'll look into that bug for you.
Sorry about that. Yeah, the whole.
No, that's okay. It happens. What we could do is we could see if you want to try to restart it and see if it'll connect, and then we could move over to our next victim / guest. Stephanie is here. Oh, does it look like it's coming up, or are you trying to connect? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's okay. That's why this is called a live stream.
Yeah.
I don't even live in the middle of nowhere, and I have the same issue. So.
Well, that's reassuring.
Same here.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
It's like you got in. You're okay.
So I'm in Composer now, and I've just opened the USD file that I've exported earlier, and my plants have come in okay, and the pumpkins have come in okay, and also my camera that I've set up. But also sometimes when I'm in Composer, I'm just thinking, oh, I quite like that view, and I change my mind and I change it around. I've also realized, and I don't know if that's working now with my dodgy bandwidth, but if I change something in my Blender file, because I want more grass or something, and I say export it again, and I overwrite it, and then it asks me if I want to fetch the changed file, and there is more grass now, which I was very pleased about. So I can, work more directly with Blender and change things in Blender and then bring it back in. So to show you that kind of fog that I have in the scene, I kind of changed to path tracing, and you can see it in the background here. Just get the heads-up display off. Yeah. And in order to move it around, I animated it quickly in Composer, because I just couldn't get the image sequence that's projected onto it to animate. So if anybody has any ideas of how I can do that in USD Composer, please tell me. I
can help you with that later.
A workaround. Super, thank you. Yeah, it's so it's a plane. It's got these images on, but it's actually just one image that's on there at the moment. Which, you know, in the big scheme of things, it's still quite effective. And I also, what I did was create a dome light, and then in the dome light, get a nice night scene. And then just kind of turn down the intensity so that there are just a few stars left. Don't know if you can see that on my.
Yep, I can see it.
That looks really nice.
It does look really nice. And we'll do is we'll post a video on Discord so people can see it in its full glory later.
Yeah, no, I've got the video here as well, which I can show you, which was the final output. So I added some after effects on them, you know, some post-processing effects, and let me just see if I can play that for you. I just had a really simple, I did a very simple animation in Blender, and then I just moved the background fog around.
Very cool.
But yeah, it's got some bloom on it, and I've kind of added some depth of field and all of that thing. So yeah,
Look very nice. I wish I could cut my pumpkin so nice. Mine always come out looking like a toddler just went crazy with a tool they shouldn't have in their hands. Yours looks much nicer.
Just described one of my characters.
Yeah. It looks like one of Marco's characters.
That is awesome, Tanya. Thank you so much for sharing, and really appreciate you going through step by step on the workflow and seeing how your creative process goes with making a nice Halloween scene.
I love when Tanya does her step-by-steps, because she did that one for the Valentine's Day and showed how she did the depth of field on the camera. I didn't even know you could do that. And ever since, every single render I make sure to adjust those properties in my camera. So yeah. Tanya, it's very beneficial. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. No, thanks guys. That's very kind.
Speaking of very cool people, welcome Stephanie. Stephanie is a relatively new member of the Omniverse community, very active on our Discord. Stephanie, I want to really first of all say welcome to the community officially, and also thank you for all the great conversations on the Discord with all the other Omniverse users that are engaged on there. Really cool to see you hop around the different channels and showing stuff off and some questions, answering some questions. Why don't you give everybody a little kind of background on yourself?
Okay. Thanks for the invitation. First of all, I'm very happy to be here. Like Ashley, I come from a photography background, and then I started studying 3D, and I started as a layout artist. Today I'm a layout supervisor, but I also work as a 3D generalist. So it was very helpful for me to have this big picture of how things work and learn a bit of everything, because that way when I open and when I got to know Omniverse, it was really easier for me to just figure out as I go and try some new stuff and play with the camera, playing with the lights. So I work in the entertainment industry with animated series and like cute series. So that's about it. I
Can you
have
tell us which series you do?
Well, their name is in Portuguese, so I
Oh,
don't. I'm from Brazil, actually. I forgot to tell you guys that. But one is of Turma da Mônica, which is a very known franchise here in Brazil. And we made the series called Vamos Brincar, which is called Let's Play in English. And this one just launched like 2 months ago. We have one episode in YouTube. I work on a few more, but don't really remember their names right now to tell
Wow,
you
you are
guys.
busy. Nice coincidence. The clip we started the live stream with by Anderson War, he's also from Brazil, and maybe I'll introduce you guys. I think he's actually working on some cool projects as well. I know it's a big country, but small world also. But yeah, so Stephanie, really cool to have you kind of check out OpenUSD and the Omniverse platform. And you were also very quick to kind of come up with something, and you actually use a interesting kind of workflow also with different apps. Do you want to share a little bit about the kind of apps you use?
Sure. I recently I got a tablet like last year, Samsung tablet, and I found out that it had Nomad Studio, a 3D modeling software app. And then I found out some tutorials, some really quick tutorials, character design, which is something I always wanted to do, like, but I feel like I don't really like to create more freely when I'm in front of the computer. So having the tablet is really, really fun and kind of relaxing because I can sit on the bed and play with painting softwares and modeling software. So I model the scene I'm gonna show up today. It's based on the Great Pumpkin by Peanuts, Charlie Brown, which I love.
Who
So
doesn't?
I model Snoopy and the pumpkin in Nomad Studio. It took me about 2 hours. I'm still learning that app too, so I really didn't figure out. I'm gonna present so I can show you guys.
Yeah. Let's see this. I will share the
Show and
screen,
tell.
and anyone feel free to ask any comments. And we're going to flip things around today. I'm going to do the announcements. We have some quick announcements I'll make towards the end of the stream when we finish up. So don't leave before that. Also, a special call out for any Marmoset users. I'll be making a request about that in a minute. Okay, and I think we can see your screen now. We're looking at USD Composer. Oh, there's Mrs.
Yeah. So I brought Snoopy and the pumpkin from the app. I started as an OBJ, and I really enjoy the drag and drop function in Composer. You can do that with materials and with the modeling, and it just makes it so easier. So I tried to paint a sky, but I figured out that I couldn't just put the painting in the sky and it would work because it had to have a spherical projection, which is something I learned while doing this. So here in the beginning of the video, I was just trying to figure out how I was gonna do the scene and how could I create it. So I really enjoy NVIDIA assets here because it's really useful for set dressing. I could just take some foliage and like position in the 3D in a like in a cheating way, so it will look good on camera, but not necessarily on the 3D viewport. So while I was playing out with materials here, I had to go back to Maya because I learned that I didn't really open my UVs and they were not ready from Nomad Sculpt. So I'm sorry about that.
No, this is great. It's great to watch. For anyone wondering, Stephanie is not working in real time right now. This is actually a plan. She's not working on a major supercomputer at light speed, but she's captured her process and is playing it back for us. This is great.
So I opened in Maya, and then I opened it. I exported to a program called UV Layout, so I could make some cuts and open the UVs and for the materials to work correctly. And then I sent it back to Maya and gave some final details on the modeling. And then I exported back to Omniverse. And finally, I got the materials working, which is so much fun because, like everyone said, we can just try things in real time, and the lighting makes it so much easier. So I went back and forth with the materials, and I created some lights here, testing out the materials. Some of them I wasn't really fortunate. And the dynamic skies. I think the dynamic skies is something Richard presented on last week's live stream, and I had no idea I could choose the time of day. And dynamic skies have so much good and fun attributes to play with, like the clouds, the moon, the position of the moon, the intensity of the lighting. So
Yeah.
this was so much fun to.
I love. I mean, this looks amazing. It's really really cool to see. Wow, what a great scene you've shot here.
It really sets the mood, and I'd like to see you using the 2 viewports. A lot of people don't know that, but you can have multiple viewports in Composer. It's very
Yeah,
useful
that's
to
so
have a
helpful.
camera and a perspective.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out, but I think it's in window viewport, and you can activate there. So then after I played with the lights a little, I gave it some fine tuning. I applied some fog, which is something I also learned with the community. I think Alan gave me some tutorials, and I use some post-processing, like with chromatic aberration, messing out the fog again.
It's great.
Yeah, it was really fun. I wish I had time to animate anything like the clouds, but it was a quick scene I made in the last 4 days, I think. But it was really really fun to do.
Well, I'm so glad you did, and I'm so glad you recorded it and shared it today. I got to check out your shows now. I'm very talented, so
Edmar's got to learn Portuguese too.
I am. I'll probably use some AI to help me, but yes, I will see what I can understand. But very cool, and we're going to share some links in the description after this is posted on YouTube. And I want to thank each of you for coming on. We have a couple of quick announcements to close this up as we say goodbye to Snoopy there, looking off into the moonlight. I mentioned a few minutes ago that we are we're looking for Marmoset users. So if you use Marmoset in your workflow, DM me on Discord. It's just EDMENDI, Edmendi, or you can shoot me an email, edmar@nvidia.com. We would love to chat with you. We're going to do a really cool blog coming up, and we want to look for some great work that people are using with Marmoset in their USD workflows. So reach out to me if you would like to be included there. We already have the captain from our community, Daniel Bauer. He'll be part of this, but we'd love to hear from others there also who are using Marmoset in their workflow. Let me actually share the screen for the announcements part of it. We have, obviously, today we've been talking about our seasonal art challenge. This kicked off this week, and there you see Jay's image on the left, Jay Selena, who showed their off last week, and then the beautiful image there by Tanya, who just showed behind the scenes today on the right there. So we hope everyone kind of participates, and as you can see, it doesn't take too long, and you can leverage some of the great free assets you've got that Richard took advantage of, and Ashley. And everybody, there's great resources out there to create scenes. If you have any questions or comments or want to chat about it, show something off, we have a challenge. We have a channel on the Discord server called Community Challenges, so you can post there. We'd love to see people's progress there. If you have if you're in the Meta region and you want to check out Jensen giving his next live talk coming up in about 12 days from now on the 16th. At 10 a.m. local time for Israel. It's going to be a great live keynote by Jensen on generative AI and cloud services, industrial digitization, talking about digital twins, obviously. So that should be an exciting moment in time to catch if you can watch it live. We'll probably try to sum it up, obviously, right afterwards on the Discord server. In case you did not know, if you're working on OpenUSD projects and you want to try the validation service, which is free, that's up and running. Run USD. We'll post these links, and Amelia already did it. There she is. Amelia's posting the links in the chat. So please feel free to go check out the Run USD site and validate your stuff. It's a free resource for everybody. And obviously, we've been talking a lot about the latest Blender updates, and we had a live stream a couple weeks ago focused on Blender. We're going to probably have the Blender team on here soon. I've been talking to the art director over at Blender Foundation to join us, and he specializes in doing mood lighting. So he's going to give us some tips and tricks on doing cool mood lighting for Blender. He's actually worked on some really cool film projects with Blender. Anyway, the new release is looking awesome. Go ahead, if you're a Blender user, you have some advantage if you use the Blender, which is inside the launcher. But you can also use a regular Blender version as well. But it just makes things a little easier if you use the Blender version inside the launcher. It's been optimized. The latest video from Aaron Luck on that very popular OpenUSD series is out in live, so you can check out what custom schemas are all about. This series has a playlist on YouTube, and Amelia will post the link in the chat in a second. We'll put it in the video description later. But this is a great resource for people who want to learn more about OpenUSD. Aaron has produced some amazingly informative videos on it, and I think it's probably helpful for everyone to watch, whether you're a newbie to USD or you're a veteran. You can definitely learn some stuff from Aaron. And probably the most exciting thing we're all looking forward to is GTC in person is back on March 18th to 21th. Ashley will definitely be there, I'm assuming.
Yes, I will be there every day.
Richard will be there. I'll be there. I hope some members of our community can make it. It'll be awesome. We're planning a really nice event, a get-together. I think Rev is going to be saying a few words. It'd be really nice to have him in person. But don't worry if, we realize, obviously, it's very tough for everyone around the world to get to GTC. And we're going to try to make it be as helpful as possible for people who can only attend virtually. We're talking about some cool ideas now to try to talk about some of the sessions afterwards, either live or we'll record it and then broadcast it on the YouTube channel that day. We're going to try, if you've got some ideas too, or some sessions that you really would like to have behind the scenes info on, let me know. I don't think the registration page is open yet, but if you go to nvidia.com/GTC, you can watch the latest announcements, and soon that switch will be flipped to actually register. But we hope that you all can make it. I think it would be amazing. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. This has been a really fun live stream. I can't thank you all enough from joining us from across the world. Really happy to see the amount of creativity that we have in the community, and always a super honor to show it off. It really does inspire the NVIDIA team in ways that you can probably not even imagine, because we definitely share this stuff in our internal Slack pretty regularly. We're always impressed with people do, especially when the kind of impressive. So we hope everyone gets involved in the challenge, and we are working on next week's live stream right now.
Edmar,
Edmar, Darth Vader.
Yeah, your voice is Darth Vader. It's a great way to end the stream. Keep it.
Yeah,
perfect.
You got spooky there for a second.
Yes.
I am your father. I don't know why it happens, but it's this.
Oh, we can't even hear you now. It cracks me up when it happens. Okay, Edmar says, bye, everybody.
Bye,
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.